Hello everyone, this is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full time. I've been doing this with my fiance Aneta for a couple years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into what we were shipping out today on Wednesday. It was like an okay day. There's still some like other items that were in the storage, or like I was driving back home from the storage unit and they started selling, but like it's too late. I'm not going to turn around. But yeah, the first thing is a 1980s Girl Scouts like little vesting with a bunch of different like pins and patches. Obviously I was in Girl Scouts. I was in Boy Scouts for a little bit. I know this stuff can be worth a lot or a little. I've sold like patches before. I've seen other people sell this kind of stuff, so I don't know too much about it, but I definitely I think we got this at a estate sale for pretty cheap. This ended up selling for $13, and yeah, $13 plus shipping. We do plus shipping on all of our items. So I'll just save us time right now. All right, moving along, we have this really cool miniature. This is a dwarf on a rock. That's just literally what I like wrote on it. So let me take this out, see if it matters. It's going to be this, yeah, this really cool dwarf right here. I think he's actually like barely has like clothes on, so he's like doing like a weird fancy like pose on this rock. So it's hilarious. Someone might use this for an RPG. Oh, there's a little goblin down here with a bunch of little like arrows through him. So he slain the goblin there, and he's celebrated on the rock. And then there's these little like weapons and shields right here that you can like accessorize him with. So yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm not too sure about what company this is, so yeah, I don't know. I ended up selling it for $13. I have some of the goblins and stuff from this particular brand, or brand that I don't know about. They're like in these white boxes. So yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, next up is something that we got for free. This is silver, like, let me see, kitten, cabaret, just the right style shoe, makeup something. I don't know. There's too many keywords for it. It is a music box right here. I think you would get these along with different like shoes that you're actually purchasing, I believe. I don't know. We got this from Aneta's mom for free. We got a bunch of these things that are labeled just the right shoe. They're these little shoes. They're like mock-up ceramic, plastic, mixed material mock-ups of the actual shoes. So yeah, this is a music box right here. It has the shoe right here. It's hard to kind of see because I already have it wrapped up. But yeah, that's pretty cool that this was free, and this sold for $45. This was kind of one of the first things I remember listing from that box, because I was like, I don't know if people care about these shoes. So I pulled this one out, I looked it up, and I was like, oh, this actually has value. So that's the day that I went through all this stuff, and they have been selling. So it's pretty cool. Someone was going to throw these away. They just didn't want them anymore. This sold for $45. All right, next up is something that Aneta listed recently. I can't really take it out of the bag. This is going to be a Smallable store. I think this is either from France or made in France or something like that. This is a reusable bag. People really care about this stuff, especially when it has like a specific brand attached to it. I don't know what Smallable is, but this one sold relatively quickly for $9. We always love to sell these like weird store promotional items. They do pretty well. But yeah, $9 is not too bad for that. I think that was also free again from the same person that was going to get rid of the shoe stuff. So yeah, got a lot of like, that's nice. It's really cool. What? Oh, it was a different person. Okay, and Aneta's mom got it from a different person. I thought it was the same person. All right, moving along. These are things that Aneta grabbed a long time ago, I think at like a Goodwill or a thrift store or something. So this is Rock Bottom Brewery in Illinois. This was their Warrenville location. This is like an empty little jug right here. And this one's just straight up from Lombard at Yorktown Center. And then I think it's going to have the brewer's like name and signature right there on it. One is like Ray Gonzalez, and then James Wolfer. I don't know if I'm saying those right. Yeah, these things are interesting. Aneta's picked up stuff like this before. The brewery is probably out of business, and someone's being like nostalgic and looking it up. Maybe they went here in these particular towns in Illinois. So yeah, you can, yeah, like I said, we like to sell these weird, like promotional, like reusable bags and stuff like that. So that's kind of like the theme of some of the stuff that we sold today. These both sold for $17.28. It took kind of like a while for these to sell. I remember these were listed a long time ago. I actually was excited because I get to bring home the bin, because these took up a lot of space in the bin. So now I have more of an empty bin to fill up with more stuff that I'm listing right now, which is like some board games recently. So that's pretty cool. And then next up is something that I knew when I saw them, and I knew the person didn't know what they were. These are, they're like plastic cards, right? And they have different like terrain and weapons and stuff like that, weather effects, spells. These are actually for Mage Knight 2.0 edition, which is a miniature game, a collectible miniature game. I actually collect the first edition stuff, like the, yeah, 1.0. This is 2.0 stuff. And the weapon cards are kind of cool because they'll have a little punch out weapon that you actually punch out. All the rules are on this, like, it's like a credit card, like how credit cards used to feel when they were like girthy and good. You take the weapon, you put it on the base of the miniature, and now that miniature has like a sword, a staff. And then these things are going to be like different effects you can have on the battlefield, because you're going to have an army, someone else is going to have an army across the table, and then you might be able to play like there's snowstorms, there's curse, and it's going to affect different figures in different ways. So it's pretty cool because these look just kind of generic. They don't really have art on them, only a couple of them do. These ended up selling for $8.91. So yeah, I had a bunch of these Mage Knight 2.0 weather and terrain effects, curses, spells, and stuff like that. I also had the weapons. The weapons sell faster because they have like cool weapons that you can actually punch out and use with the game. These you can still use with the game. They just don't have like cool art or anything like that. All right, moving along, we have a comic book based off of a board game. This is Nemesis Untold Stories #2. So yeah, this is going to be based off of a board game that is based off of the Alien movies with like Ripley and stuff like that. So yeah, it's more of an experience board game. It's like this big box. You're playing survivors on like a spaceship. There's obviously aliens that eventually come. Each individual survivor in the board game is going to have their own goal. You might want to leave the ship by yourself. You might want to leave with everyone else. I've never played the game, but I've read about enough to know enough about it. It's more of an experience game because you have these different goals. It's not my type of game because I usually like co-op games where you're straight up just on teams with each other, but I have played games where there's like these betrayal mechanics and they're trying to mimic a movie. So this is actually like a comic book, full lore on that particular realm. So this is really cool. Board games, they have Kickstarters and they have a lot of extra additional stuff people can buy, and people do really consume the lore. I think board games could even extend further with stuff. So this is like an example of a board game company extending further into different media, and people love it. This sold for $25, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I saw Nemesis and I knew that was straight up. I knew this was connected to the board game. I could just tell by the arts. All right, and then next up was a combo order, but I forgot to grab the other stuff because I had a listing over here that sold. It was this little truck right here. This is incomplete red. Oh, I can't even say that. Unfallzug firefighter truck toy. It's like 3.5 inches. Oh, it was just that Unfallzug right here. Yeah, I'm not too sure what that means. This one's like plastic. It's supposed to have like its like backing or whatever. This one doesn't have the backing. This one sold for $8. And then the combo order was with these 6 military plastic, just different like a tank, artillery, and stuff like that. They look pretty cool. They look like they're vintage. Those sold for $28. So those plus this was what, 36. Yeah. And that's everything that's going out today on Wednesday. So yeah, it's kind of like a middling day, but like I said, there was more sales that came in, which will be part of tomorrow. So there's probably gonna be more stuff that I'll be talking about tomorrow and that sold tomorrow. But yeah, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good one.